has been linked with City today, and apparently that is concrete. City are looking at him.
Would he perform at City?
I don't know. I rate him, me. But City, with the injury history, bobbing on a bit, it's a bit of a weird one for me, that. But apparently City are looking at him.
Didn't go well at Liverpool. I know he was injured a lot, but he's probably better off being the big fish in the small pond at Southampton. Like, he'll probably get lost amongst the big names. He'll be like Ricky Lambert when he went to Liverpool. Like, he'll get lost amongst the big names at City.
Well, this is the measuring stick sometimes, isn't it? Like, is he better than Jesus? Because I know we slag Jesus off for not being up to the standard, but if the roles were reversed and Jesus was at Southampton, would he bag in the goals like Ings does? Possibly.
Jesus has got a difficult job when he's being put alongside Aguero, hasn't he? There aren't many strikers that can be in the same squad as Aguero and potentially attempt to sort of follow in his footsteps. There's not many players can fill that void. It's
boys,
going to be a poison chalice.
They don't need to fill the void because they're 10 points clear of Liverpool without a striker for 99% of the season.
They literally play a 4-7 formation. They have no strikers whatsoever.
What they did yesterday was absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
Incredible. To go there, no striker on the pitch, putting the faith in Phil Foden and Ilkay Gundogan to get you the goals. And it was unreal.
They dismantled Liverpool yesterday.
Yeah.
It was actually embarrassing.
And Klopp had the audacity to come off the pitch and said they played good football and they played well. No, you didn't touch the ball, mate. You did not touch the ball.
Nah, they're finished at the minute. Liverpool, if they carry on the way they are. They're currently, I think Everton can go above them, can't they? If they win the games in hand and knock them out of the top four.
Oh,
that'd be
beautiful. One of them's against City, though, mate. So,
well,
so I'm not sure if we're going to win them.
You never know. I mean, City are class at the minute, but Everton have always been a little bit of a bogey team for City, I think, haven't they? So I just feel like they might get a result. They might get a draw or something.
They've put themselves in serious danger, Liverpool. You
got 2 games in hand over Liverpool.
You got 2 games in hand. Spurs have one game. Like Spurs have got a game in hand. If they win that, they go to 1 point behind Liverpool. West Ham are breathing down the necks.
Yeah.
Chelsea are back up there again. Liverpool have put themselves in serious fucking danger.
They might not finish top 4 the way they're going.
I mean, I called it the week, didn't I? I don't think they'll finish top 3. I don't think they'll finish top 4 now.
Where did we finish the season after Fergie left? Was it 7th?
Yeah,
7th.
Yeah.
Could they possibly?
Potentially. I mean, there's a stat come out today that this is the worst title defence after 23 games ever.
When you look at Villa in 9th, there's only 5 points behind.
I was just looking at that.
They've got 2 games in hand on them as well.
Leeds have got a game in hand. Leeds have got a game in hand. If they win that, they're on 35. That's only 5 points behind Liverpool. And they're 10th. I'm not saying they'll do it, but like if you're looking at 10th to 4th and there being a 5 point difference with multiple teams having games in hand on them, Jesus Christ.
The worrying thing for me against Liverpool is they're not picking up wins at home against anyone. They're getting beaten by teams all across the table.
Yeah.
And there's just no inspiration for it. I mean, I'm sick of hearing this fucking Van Dijk thing. Like, I'm just not
How
having
far
it.
into the podcast are we? Somebody had that bet.
I'm sorry, I'm not having it. You conceded 7 against Villa and you had Van Dijk in your defence. When you got absolutely mollywopped by Watford down in London, you had Van Dijk in your defence. When you got absolutely pushed without even any resistance whatsoever out of the Champions League by Atletico, you had Van Dijk in the defence. When you got absolutely ran around by City, at the
twice
season, twice. You had him in. I'm just not having it, and I get this whole. It upsets the balance of the team and this, that, and the rest of it. Well, I don't know what to tell you because other teams have had injuries, and if we're going to give City the credit where it's due, they've not got De Bruyne, who is pound for pound might be the best player in the world, and they've not got Aguero, who pound for pound might be the best striker the Premier League has ever had. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
we've all had injuries. The only team that's not had injuries is United, and we're shit.
City, whose last season, their season was derailed by Lampard getting injured.
Yes, and he had no defenders.
Yeah,
he had no defenders
Lampard
apart from that.
has been injured again this season, and no De Bruyne, and no Aguero, and no Jesus, and they are 5 points clear with a game in hand.
Yeah.
A team that was finished after game week 7 is top of the table.
They had those few draws and lost, didn't they?
Yeah. It's unreal. Like, fair. Do you know what? Fair fucks to them. If they're going to win this title, which it looks like they will, they're going to fully deserve it. Because whatever Pep's done since they started like flopping about, they've been unreal. You will be pleased to know, boys, Liverpool are no longer second favourites for the title.
No, good. They shouldn't be.
Who are Leicester?
No, us.
Well, we are. Yeah. It's been doing my head in this as. Like, are we 5 points ahead of Liverpool, yet they were shorter odds than us to win the title? I just don't understand it. Like, we're not that fucking bad.
I don't know. It depends if we're conceding a free kick in the 95th minute and then our captain lines up a defensive line and then decides to drop 2 yards behind it, and then David De Gea shits himself because someone went near him.
All that bollocks on Twitter the other day, I'm fucking sick of hearing it. Like, oh, there was an offside. There was a handball. The referee only gave 4 minutes of stoppage time. We were in the 5th minute of stoppage time. Or defend. Just defend better. Like, it's not fucking hard. If you've got 1 minute, better game management, please. Let's not give away fucking free kicks where they can pump the ball back into the box. That's the problem. I'm playing fucking a world-class centre-back playing an entire team, an entire team onside. Like, keeper, it's such basic defending. And you know when you hear the expression, oh, you wouldn't see that in Sunday League. You wouldn't.
You wouldn't. No,
you wouldn't. Because you know how to keep a line and you know how to push out at the same time. Fuck me.
When you have that line, you make a decision. You keep the line, you all push out, or you all drop back. As the captain, you're the person that makes that decision. You don't let the defensive line stay and you be the one to drop back. I don't care how slow you are. If you're slow, bring the whole defence with you. Bring your keeper further forward so he can claim it. David De Gea, man.
He should have been out for that anyway.
Done with him. Fucking awful for 2 of them 3 goals.
Yeah.
I've heard Ollie's going to drop him.
Yeah,
tomorrow night. So he should.
Well, I mean, Henderson usually plays the FA Cup anyway, doesn't he? Or the Cup game.
Yeah, the key is whether he'll be in tomorrow night, but then again against West Brom at the weekend. Which
Henderson knows if he has an absolute blinder against West Ham, Henderson knows that's his position. He knows. So the pressure's on him now. So what I was saying before about reliability in terms of England, we're going to see what Henderson's made of now against West Ham, because he's got a golden opportunity that he could grab with both gloves, no pun intended. He needs to, now is his time. He needs to seize it, because when you've got defensive issues like you're seeing with Maguire, and you know it's not always Maguire. We're always harding him out with. Sometimes it's bloody Lindelof, and then sometimes it's Wan-Bissaka. The only one who's been good this season, like we've all said, is Shaw. But when you've got those miscommunication issues, a keeper who is at the top of his game is golden. He's the last line of defence, and a good goalkeeper will be a master communicator, and he can sort half that shit out.
I don't want to nag on United too much because we felt we talk about them too much. But like full fucking credit to Everton as well. You know, didn't give up. Won the second half 3-1. I think we said it on the live stream with Gav from Top Football. If you didn't catch it, find the replays on YouTube. It was a bleeding good watch. I'll say that.
Tell you what, he brought the fire, didn't he, Gav?
Oh, he loves it.
Brought the heat, Gav. He was a blinding guest to our first on.
I think it was Josh. You said it at half time. Ancelotti's probably in there just telling him, "Go and win the second half. Go win the second half. See what you can do." And you never know when you come out and you've won 3-1 in the second half at Old Trafford. So you deserved the point. Like, fair fucks to you.
I was impressed with the second half performance because on the live feed, I was sort of depressed, was I, at half time? I didn't see any way of us getting back into it, did I?
No.
Even, you know what? Even my parents logged in at half time to see how it was going, and they saw me sulking, and they called me the next day and said, God, you didn't half look sad at half time. could you blame me? I'm outnumbered by 4 Manx and we're getting battered 2-0. And we weren't even showing any signs of getting even a goal at that point.
And I was a right cunt as well, because I turned around to you at one point, I was like, do you think you can get back into it, Josh? And I was like, there's no fucking way they're getting back into it.
Mate, I think I'd have lost all of my remaining integrity on this show if I'd have said, yes, I think we can get back into it. Because any football fan with eyes could see from that first half performance that there was no way we were in it.
You were awful at first half. Not a single shot on target. Like, no trouble to us whatsoever. And that's what makes it more frustrating as a United fan. Like, I can give you all the credit in the world, but Ollie's second change, because his first one was enforced, was in the 93rd minute.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And it just seems like every time he makes that change of bringing on Tuanzebe to go defensive, we end up dropping points. It's just very, very strange management. But moving to good management, lads, Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, got to give credit where credit's due. He's steadied the ship there. And what's that? A draw, 2 wins.
Yeah.
He's done. You couldn't have done any more apart from win 3 games.
No.
That's the only way it could have been better, which the Wolves game was there to win, to be honest. And I'm not going to blame him for it because he had, one training session, less than 24 hours with that squad.
Yeah.
I think he did a great thing by going with experience and bringing the 2 senior fullbacks back in, especially Alonso, as dark as his past is and as much as we don't like him. Great game. One of the goal scorers in the game after that against Burnley. I don't know if you boys agree. Yeah, I think just looked a lot better.
I was quite surprised that Alonso's come back into the fold. I mean, I didn't think Chilwell was doing too. I think he was one of their better players for the most of the season. I was quite surprised when he brought Alonso back in the fold. But fair play to Alonso, he sort of stepped up when he has come in.
Chilwell was back in yesterday, wasn't he, against Sheffield? I think Alonso, it was very good management recognising you're playing Burnley. It's going to be long balls, Brexit FC, 4-4-2. You need height at the back. And Alonso can just simply deal with that better than Chilwell can. So again, that's really good management of your squad, knowing that, all right, Ben, this isn't the game for you. You're about, I don't know how tall he is, but he's definitely not Alonso's height. No. This is the game for experience and tall players. And he rewarded him with a goal as well. So, yeah, fair play to him. I really rate him as a manager. I think he's going to do good things there. I hope he's not, but I think he will.
Do you think that Lampard is going to be interested in the Bournemouth job? There's been rumours going around that, Harry has gone in, hasn't he? As an advisor, though, not as an actual manager.
Hasn't Woodgate got the job on a caretaker?
He's on trial, isn't he?
Wow, I didn't miss that. I just saw that Harry Redknapp had gone in as advisor. Fair enough. Like, I thought it would have been quite a good job for Lampard, actually, to sort of drop down into the Championship.
I do too.
But yeah, Tuchel, I think that he still needs to try and get the best out of players like Havertz and Werner, but Rudiger got a ridiculous own goal, didn't he?
Yeah, that was daft.
Well, two assists yesterday for Timo Werner.
Werner had a great game.
Yeah,
it's a start. It's a start.
Mm-hmm.
If you can make Souness fume, then you're doing something right, because he was fuming about Werner.
Yeah.
So he had a good game, Werner, yesterday. Not the greatest competition in the world, but it's a start.
Souness was also crying after the City Liverpool game. So.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Wasn't what's his face? The ex-City player.
Richards.
Yeah, he was shouting, "It's all gone quiet over there" to him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I love Mika Richards.
Did you see the video of him showing Roy Keane that fucking FIFA celebration?
Roy Keane loves him, doesn't he? Roy Keane loves him. What an unlikely bromance that is.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
I fucking love it.
I feel like
I'll tell you, his ripping shreds at Liverpool.
Unreal. Unreal. And totally deserved. Completely and utterly deserved.
Yeah.
Fucking awful they were yesterday.
They were, yeah. Klopp's losing his head a little bit as well, isn't he? People kicking off at reporters for asking him about the title race and stuff, and he's tearing one off people. And just like we said, it was this time last week where we were sat here talking about what was next for Klopp, and it looks like we're edging closer and closer to that the way it's going at the moment. I think Mane, Salah, players like that could leave in the summer, and Klopp could be following him. Real Madrid.
Could you imagine a mass exodus at Liverpool?
Yeah, I could. I dream about it.
You've won one title, and then
it.
everyone leaves.
I mean, all joking aside, Zidane looks like he's on the way out.
Yeah.
And Klopp's going to be the first. You just know he is. Klopp's going to be the first person that Real Madrid try. What's wrong with me tonight? Try to approach. And
Van Dijk's going Real Madrid.
Yeah, well,
Van Dijk's going Real Madrid.
This is what I'm saying. Like, you know, Salah. Could you see Salah at Real Madrid? I could see Salah at Real Madrid. It's going to be interesting, and I don't think if he carries on going the way it's going for Liverpool this season, I don't think Klopp's going to be able to turn around and go, no, I want to stay here and like rebuild. He's going to go to Madrid, especially if you've got Mbappe on speed dial, and all the rumours that we've heard. I know you've been the biggest proponent for it, Danny, that Mbappe is going to be the one that they're going to try and lure over the summer. Could you imagine that? That's perfect for Madrid. That's a perfect Madrid summer. Bring in Klopp, great, amazing new manager. Bring in Mbappe, new star to build the team around.
Get a marquee player that's going to be there for 10 years and bring in a brand new manager who's probably going to be there for 2 years because he wins a title and then gets sacked the season after. That is brilliant for Real Madrid. That is their perfect summer, that.
Yeah. Mad.
Talking of Liverpool, boys, I feel like the transitions have been pretty easy tonight. They might not be able to play in Champions League.
Yeah, this is a weird one.
Yeah, so basically, Germany are not allowing Liverpool to travel into Germany to play against Leipzig.
Oh, Budapest, isn't it? They've got a. Yeah. I did hear about this. They've got to play in Budapest.
Yeah, City have had theirs changed to the Puskas Stadium for their game against Mönchengladbach. So surely Liverpool will have to do the same.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And you know what, right? Well done, Germany, and well done, the German FA.
Yeah.
Finally, a football federation is using its brains, realising that we're still in a pandemic and we're not supposed to be crossing borders.
Mm-hmm. So they fuck them all off to Budapest.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Here's the thing for me, and I'm not saying this because we've gone out of the Champions League, because even if we went through, we're not fucking winning it anyway. And we're in the Europa, to be fair. Why, with hindsight, why have we done the Europa League and Champions League this season? Why have we done it?
Here comes the money.
I know, but even that sometimes, the juice really isn't worth the fucking squeeze. It's impossible. You can't do it. Like, they're gonna. What are you gonna do? All right, you play the first leg in Hungary. Then what?
Yeah, exactly.
Then what? What about the second leg?
We're going to end up single legs.
You just have to play both legs there.
Yeah. But then you're going down the route of why the Euro's taking place as well.
I cannot believe that they're still looking at roaming Euros. I cannot believe we're still looking at multiple countries for this Euros. This is the time for UEFA to just go, you know what? England, this is your tournament. You are the one that is set up, like England, Germany, and France, and Spain as well. Mm-hmm. Those 4 countries, but we've not had it in so long. This is the perfect chance for him to go, England, just deal with this. You take Euro 2020, we'll give you another one in 40 years' time.
I know, but the way the fucking R rate and everything is over here, like, who the fuck wants to come over here?
I know, that's
right,
that's
100,000 dead people.
But we can't have, that would be the problem, because there'd be no travelling fans. Because there's still going to be a quarantine. They've said today, haven't they, that like over 50s will be getting the vaccine by May.
Yeah.
If Euros is June, July, that's still like how many realistically over 50s are going travelling around for the Euros? It's not. It's people younger than that.
Euro crowds is going to be full of bare OAPs. It's going to be amazing.
Those 70-year-olds.
That would be class. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just have.
Sleep at full time.
Let's just make it the Masters. Let's just bring back all the legends as well.
Wembley
Masters
Stadium.
Euros.
Wembley Stadium. I've not been here since '66.
Get Gaza back.
I've seen a video of him in Rangers training today, pulling a chair out from underneath someone as they were about to sit on it.
Class.
Yeah, it does beg the question why these competitions are going ahead. Like, I know you said it like it's not worth it sometimes, but to UEFA it was worth it because everyone's still watched every single game and everyone's still making all of the money.
It's like the League Cup, innit? Like, I know people are going to be like, you're a United fan. Why are you talking about the League Cup? You're just bitter because you went out the semi-finals. It's the League Cup. Can we please just, and not even for COVID, let's just delete it. Control, Alt, and delete. Bring up Task Manager. End League Cup.
You can't tell me that these smaller clubs gain anything from the League Cup. The League Cup, sorry. When Manchester City have won it 5 out of the last 6 years, and I swear it's only worth like what one place is in the Premier League more. Like if you go up one place in the final table, that's the prize money. It's not fucking worth it. Burn it off. Burn off international friendlies. Burn off the Nations League. Like this, there was so why on earth after we lifted travel restrictions for like what felt like about 4 days, did we then have to go and play international games?
It's like that third European competition that we were talking about.
The C League, yeah.
And I know you were saying you've got mates, Danny, who support other clubs and stuff. I don't give a fuck.
Well, I'm gonna get one of them on for an interview so we can hear it properly from their perspective. Which cheeky little plug, Josh, your interview with Jeff, if people haven't heard it, which was absolutely outstanding. Like
really good.
Very nice to hear a Chelsea point of view. Really, really good to listen. That really enjoyed it, mate.
He put across a few points really, really well, and sometimes it's difficult for us, isn't it? We're 4 United fans, 1 Evertonian, and sometimes, as good as I think we are with being fair to teams, we do slide back into sort of default settings and stuff, don't we? So to hear it from the other side of the coin was good, and he did make a few really, really valid, solid points for me, Jeff, where absolutely. I thought, do you know, I can kind of understand. Difficult for him on it. Lampard, at the end of the day, Lampard's a club legend. It'd be just like if it was going wrong for Ollie to the point where it was over there and Ollie got sacked. I think we'd be feeling exactly the same way.
No, I think we can't. Ollie's not the right comparison. The comparison would be if Rooney got brought in.
Yeah.
Like if Rooney got the Man United job and then got sacked after a year and a bit. Well, let's be honest, there was clear progression at Chelsea as well, and that's why I said a couple of weeks ago I still think it was too early, because there was clear progression. They've brought in a lot of signings, they've not gelled. Yes, they've spent 200 million, so they should be challenging for a title, but he's still a young manager. But unfortunately, Chelsea is a poison chalice.
But the proof's in the pudding.
Always will be.
Lampard have got the 7 points from 9 that Tuchel's just got.
Well, yeah, exactly. We will never know.
We will never know.
Yeah, so
I just hope that he gets his, that this is just a small blip for him. Unfortunately, it's been the team that he's a legend at, but he's an English lad, and we all think that he was a great player. That no doubt one of the best English midfielders I've seen in my lifetime. I just hope that his managerial career can still kick off from here and progress. I don't want it to sort of like plateau now, and he's teetering around the lower Premier League clubs. I still want him to manage a big club at some point.
I think he'll go back, mate.
One day,
After a few more years,
sort
of, I would say rebuild his reputation, but after a few more years under his belt managing, whether that be here or abroad, but I think if the Chelsea job became available again in a few years down the line, he'll be first one in the list, I think, to go back, and probably to prove a point that job wasn't done first time around. I can see that happening.
I think though, with him being linked to Bournemouth, it's a dangerous job to take that, because the expectation at Bournemouth now is high. Especially after they had such a good start to the season this season as well. If I was Frank, I would be really, really smart, and I'd wait for Lennon to lose his job. And I'd throw my name into the hat for the Celtic job if I was Lampard. I think it's a win-win situation from up there. You can't do any worse than what Lennon's done this season. I'm sorry, but you can't. He's been atrocious. at Celtic have been atrocious, and all he'd have to do to be considered a success in his first season would be to maybe win one of the cup competitions, which is more than doable, and close the gap on Rangers.
Yeah,
I don't know if you agree.
I think that, I agree with you in terms of Bournemouth, because he got the job at Chelsea based on his performance at Derby, really, and he didn't even get them promoted. And the Championship is arguably one of the hardest leagues in the world, so he would be pretty stupid, I think. In hindsight, now thought about it, because earlier I said it'd be a good move, but now actually thinking about it, Bournemouth, who haven't really got the squad to, I don't know, it just wouldn't work out for him that well, and he'd end up stuck in the Championship, and then they wouldn't perform well enough. Then he'd get sacked again, or he could turn him around. Like he didn't do terribly for Chelsea.
I think Bournemouth would be a good move for him. I really do. What worries me is they sacked Jason Tindall after about 4 bad games.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
He was there with Eddie Howe through it all, and Bournemouth were at the top of the Championship for a good chunk of this season. And Collins, you said it in the chat perfectly, 4 bad games, and that's all it takes for you to get sacked these days. That's nothing. Like, Jason Tindall's done everything for that club, just as much as Eddie Howe has. So that does worry me that maybe their owners have lost sight of who they are.
It's a shit league to get out of. I mean, who's top of the Championship now? I don't know.
Norwich.
Oh,
I know, yeah. We've got another fucking season of that.
Complete right. I know I just give a rant a minute ago about we go back to default settings and we shouldn't shit on other clubs and all the rest of it. Norwich fans, if you're listening to me, please, just fucking give up on the Premier League, because every time you come up, you just go straight back fucking down. So
there is a bright spark. Brentford are 1 point off the top, but with a game in hand.
All right, okay.
I would like to see Brentford. Brentford would be brilliant to come up.
Yeah, they've been knocking on the door, haven't they? Last couple of seasons, they've been sort of playoff finals. I think just short of that, but they've been there or thereabouts the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, they were final last year.
I'd rather that than Timu fucking Pookie scoring 4 goals in his first 3 games again, and everyone shagging him for the rest of the fucking season.
The thing that's impressed me with Brentford is that they've lost almost all of the best players every single season, and they're still up there. Like, if they'd have kept Watkins and Ben Rama, fuck me, I think they'd be clear as day, but they've replaced them. Ivan Toney has been unreal down there.
Where was he hiding? Come from Peterborough, and he's come in the form that he has.
He is another person. Like, call me crazy for shouting this. He is on that fringes of the England squad as far as I'm concerned. If you're scoring that many goals in a competitive league like the Championship, why not? Why not bring him in for a friendly and see how he does?
We've got too many.
22 goals he's got in the league.
That's insane. 22 goals.
I know, but we said it quite a few episodes ago, didn't we? There's some strikers who can absolutely boss the Championship, and then they get to the Premier League and they struggle to bridge that gap, because there is a big difference in the quality.
Yeah,
that's what you've got to see. So when Southgate gave it the big one about Grealish, for example, and he was like, "You've not done it in the Premier League." That was a fair point.
Much.
It was a fair point.
No, it wasn't. He'd done it for a season and a half in the Premier League, and then he's not played good competition.
No, I'm talking about when he just come out of the Championship and they were talking about him coming into the England squad. That's when I could agree with him. But when you've done it for a season and a half in the Premier League like he did, and he was still saying it was like, right, now you're being a fucking knobhead. That's where I stand. And
Calvin Phillips in.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. He said the comments like that about Grealish, and then obviously Phillips comes in, who's just had a season in the Championship with Leeds, and it's like, well, what you say? What you going on about? It's just,
and it shows.
He
didn't produce it for England. Sorry, but Calvin Phillips, he's not produced it for England. He's not been a bad player, but he's just not as good as the other options.
I think he did get man of the match in his debut, though. I think he did have one good game out of about 2 or 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure he got man of the match on his debut.
It's Calvin.
Yeah.
Mate, I rate him a lot. I've said this from day one. I really rate him. I think he's a very good footballer, but he's not going to fit the England system.
No, he's not good enough.
It's like when he brought in Conor Cody Like he brought in Connor Cody and changed the whole defence to fit Connor Cody because Cody doesn't work in a 4-back.
And he also changed Connor Cody's career because since then, for Wolves, it has not gone well.
No,
I've seen some bad performances from him.
Oh, did any of you watch that Wolves-Leicester game?
No, I heard it was dire.
Was I the only Paul that fucking sod that watched it? It was boring as anything.
It was the only one that let me down on my over 1.5s out of 10 as well. I got 9 out of 10.
Nice.
And it was that game. No, it's not nice. It's fucking annoying.
It is annoying. Like you'd expect a team like Leicester and Wolves to, full of attacking talent. Like Wolves looked unreal with Pedro Neto on that left-hand side, but he suffers from Adama Traore syndrome. He's all skill and no end product.
I tell you what, that goal against Chelsea earlier in the season, though.
Yeah.
When he wants to be good, Neto. When he wants to be good.
He's 20 years old, mate. He's going to be a fucking superstar, that kid.
And Podence as well.
Yeah.
What a baller he is. They've got good players, Wolves. I don't understand. Is it the Raul Jimenez, the incident, that's where it started. And
Doherty
I think,
as well. Losing Doherty was massive for them. I think we're realising now that was a huge loss and he don't even get on the Spurs bench anymore.
These players are unheralded. This is why when we were talking about the England squads before, we're saying we can't drop Henderson because as unremarkable as his performances are sometimes, he's one of them. You don't appreciate him until he's gone. And you realise like just how good he is and the influence that he has on everyone else around him. So I think it's a little bit with that with Wolves. I think they've lost a couple of players who have a massive influence in that dressing room. And Jota as well.
2-0 to Leeds United. England striker Patrick Bamford.
Yeah, but if you throw enough shit at the wall, some of it's going to stick, isn't it?
if you shoot enough, eventually you'll score. That is phenomenal. As long
love that, Josh. Love it.
Thanks, mate. I know he is in great goal scoring form this year, but I just can't take him seriously as a England footballer contender for the international squad.
Also, just seeing the goal, open net, keeper palmed it right out to him. Fuck off.
But if he does it for another season, then fair enough. If you can do it consistently for 2-3 seasons, then you'd be considered. But for the moment, with how our attacking talent is, he is just nowhere near at the moment, and it's unfortunate for him. A couple of years ago, he might have been closer. But a couple of years ago, he was absolute dog shit, and that's why Chelsea got rid of him.
Yeah, I think you can compare him to Danny Ings.
Fair dues, 12 league goals he's got this season.
Oh, I wrote him off from minute one. As soon as they came up, I was like, there's no chance. He's wank. He's proved me wrong. Like, he's been brilliant.
He's proved us all wrong. But, I mean, if he goes on to do it for another season, I will compare him to Danny Ings, who's done it for a couple of seasons now.
Rafinha assist, it's fucking happening, boys!
Yeah, but do you know what? If it was another striker in there of higher quality, he'd have 25 goals this season now.
Well, you say that, but they brought in Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Danny, let me repeat that again. If it was another striker of higher quality, he would have had 25 goals this season.
You know what? The thing is with Rodrigo, he's playing so fucking deep. Like, I don't actually know what his position is on that pitch. He seems to start up front, and then he's sat next to Calvin Phillips for half the game.
Yeah, he comes like halfway down the pitch again.
I mean, like, fair play, your work rate is phenomenal, and you've obviously got to have it to be in that Bielsa squad, but it must be hurting his chances in the national team at a time where Spain are lacking serious strikers. Yeah. This could be his chance to make a claim to be their number 9, and he's making tackles instead of scoring goals. It's an unfortunate one for him, but
it's a weird system, Leeds, and I think the way that Leeds play hinders all of their internationals, regardless of who they play for, because there's not a team on this planet that plays like Leeds do, because it's just a silly way to play football. It's just gung ho, and we're going to be absolutely fucking blowing out of our arse after 60 minutes because of the intensity. Whereas, with Liverpool, when Liverpool are at their intensive best, as everyone is saying at the moment, which there's a point to it, like they've been ferocious at times, Liverpool, over the last few seasons. It wasn't for 90 minutes. They could pick and choose. They did that very well. When to go 100% and when to back off and breathe a little bit, for want of a better way of putting it.
Yeah. Well,
just while we're on Leeds, Chris, mate, this puts Sheffield United 21 points behind Leeds. Has that 20 quid been handed over to Danny yet? Or?
How many games?
What's my cash out, mate?
How many games have Sheffield United got left this season?
15.
Yeah, okay, that's 45 points. When it's mathematically impossible, Dale, we'll talk about it. Danny, I'll give you cash out of £1.50.
You know what? I'll let it ride, mate. I like my chances.
You know what I was about to... I thought you were going to say, I'll take it. I was going to be like, I'll get me banking up.
Get your Rivaloo out.
You fucking need nominated for Dickhead of the Week for that kind of cash out.
Yeah, let's do Dickhead of the Week quickly before we shoot.
Dickhead of the Week, sponsored by Celtic Football Club.
Right, can I go first?
Go for it, mate.
Jurgen Klopp.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know which incident you want to focus on because there's been a few of them recently, but it's going to have to be for blaming Alisson's performance on having cold feet. Everyone was expecting it. Everyone knew we were going to mention it, and there you go. I'm just giving the people what they want.
Yeah.
Love that. Well done, mate.
Can I get mine in? Because I've not thought about one, but I've got one. Rudiger. Class own goal, lad. You're shite.
I'll let Dale go next.
No, yeah, I'm going to go for Klopp as well, just for the various excuses he's been using to justify either a 4-1 hammering or the 3 consecutive home losses they've had. So, unlucky.
I think I'm going with Mike Dean.
Oh, yeah.
Hollywood Dean strikes again. 2 absolute horrific red cards in a week, which have both been overturned as soon as he gave them. Mate, the game is not about you. Fucking retire, please. But I do want a side note. If you're one of the pricks that sent fucking death threats to his family, you are a wanker.
Yeah.
It's a game of football. Fucking get over it. But Hollywood Mike Dean, just go into the football stands again. I can't remember. Who's his sport? Is it Peterborough sport?
No, Tranmere.
Tranmere, yeah. Just go and jump in with the fans again when gates are back open. That is where you belong now.
Yeah, enjoy your retirement.
Most red cards given in refereeing history in the Premier League. The game does not need to be about you. There is no person, including Alexandra Mitrovic, who looked at that elbow by Souček and said, yeah, that's intentional, that is violent play. No, fuck off, mate. You are a dick.
You know what, though? Why did Mitrovic go down?
I was going to say that. He did go down like he'd been
He did
shot,
go down, but
then he got up and said, actually won that bad, and said, no, don't send him off.
The thing is, and it's the Salah argument from yesterday, who was also very close to being nominated, you have to go down to get attention now these days. You have to. The referee will not bother looking at anything if you don't hit the deck. Whether you are rolling and screaming, because that Salah one was fucking... Chris, that thread you did was absolutely outstanding. Oh my word, guys! If you've not seen it, get onto our Twitter and go and find the thread of Mo Salah being dramatic. It is unreal.
I'll retweet it again.
If you don't get attention from the referee, you're definitely going to get it from Chris.
Yeah.
You know what? It's the Jaws one for me because I didn't even use his entire body. It was just him on the edge of the boat, like.
I think it's the Rocky one for me. I love that. Just in the background, like.
But the only time I'll ever defend Mo Salah for diving is the fact of if he did not go down there, he doesn't get anything. And yes, it isn't a penalty in the first place, but he forced the referee's hand by hitting the deck. Yeah. He made him make a decision. So, but yeah, Mike Dean's still a prick.
It's contentious this week, isn't it? It's tight. It could be Salah for diving like he did and costing me 3 points for a correct score because I predicted City 4, Liverpool 0. So thanks for that, Salah. It could be Klopp for all the bollocks that he's been coming out with this week. It could be Danny for putting pressure on me to pay him this 20 quid in these financial hardships that we're going through at the moment because of COVID-19.
Mate, you've got a cleaner.
I was going to say,
hardship.
let your cleaner have a week off, mate, and pay me.
Imagine me trying to explain that one. I'm going to have to let you go.
I've lost a bet. Come back next week.
Can't explain much right now, but Patrick Bamford, Marcelo Bielsa, and I just can't afford to pay you this week. It's got to be Maguire for me. You're a professional footballer, know how the offside trap works.
Yeah.
Know how to keep a line, defensive line. It's just, I'm still astounded by it. I don't know if it was that or Ben Godfrey screaming "fuck off" that's triggered me about this.
You know what? It's not been mentioned, but does anybody want to talk about Wan-Bissaka ducking below it?
Honestly, I've had a rant ready for this podcast, but I don't want to get pissed off right at the end. But I'm going to anyway. Wan-Bissaka, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you've jumped too early, but just throw your head at the ball. Make it flick off your head, flick off someone else and go out for a corner. We deal with the corner, the game is done.
For me,
you've ducked.
If he doesn't duck, Maguire's isn't so bad. It's Wan-Bissaka's mistake.
Yeah.
That means that it lands on Maguire keeping him onside.
Yeah.
If Wan-Bissaka just gets his head on it, doesn't matter about Maguire, does it?
No. But
he's awful at the moment.
Also, dickhead of the week, Axel Tuanzebe. Don't fly in for a tackle in the 95th minute when you don't need to. Also, dickhead of the week, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Don't make a change in the 93rd minute when you don't need to. That game was wrapped up. It was done. Also, dickhead of the week, David fucking De Gea. Leave the club.
Read the standing orders.
Read the standing orders.
Read them and understand them.